Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this Hammond Redevelopment Commission meeting to order on this Tuesday, July 2nd. It is now 4:30. Can you please stand for a Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence after? Commissioner,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you on that. Can we have a roll call on the commissioners, please?
Merrick?
Here.
Soto Presley?
Here.
Esbricky?
Here.
Myricks?
Here.
Hopper?
Here. For the record, all 5 are present tonight. Number 3, declaration of conflict of interest. Number 4, communications.
None were received.
That brings us to number 5, our minutes. We've got for June 4th, 2019, and minutes for June 18th, 2019.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes for the Redevelopment Commission for June 4th, 2019, and June 18th, 2019.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Minutes dating June 4th, 2019, and June 18th, 2019. Is there any question or discussion on these minutes? Okay, roll call, please.
Merrick?
Yes.
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Esbricky?
Yes.
Myricks?
Yes.
Hopper?
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes. Okay, number 6 is our homebound conditional forgivable loan approval. Looks like we have 6 applicants.
Yes, we do. Well, come up.
Can they come up? Welcome, all of you. If you just want to, each of you take a minute here and just introduce yourself to the commissioners here.
William Morgan,
Mr. Morgan, how did you hear about our program?
through my loan officer,
Okay, what, may I ask you?
Jerry Zagoni.
Oh, okay, I know him. Okay. And the next lady right behind you?
I'm Lisa Woodhall.
And how did you hear about our program?
My lender, Amy Corner.
Who?
Amy Corner.
Well,
She's out of Maryville.
okay. Yeah, see, I'm a realtor, and a lot of times I'll know the lenders and the agents, but I don't know yours, but that's okay.
Okay.
My name is Colin Andrusco.
And how did you hear about our program?
Some of the other firefighters on the job told me about it.
Cool, great.
Yay. Good.
My name is Willie Edwards.
And how did you hear about our program?
I'm a realtor,
May I ask who's your realtor?
John Rostenkowski.
Oh, okay, I know John. Remax, okay. Hi, your name, ma'am?
Hello, my name is Shanice Deals, and I
How
heard
did you hear
this
about our program?
through my mother.
Okay. And last but not least,
Hello, my name is Miranda Rodriguez.
and how did you hear about our program?
Through a family friend through the city.
Okay. So all you guys first time homeowners? Okay. Anyone else have any questions?
No, that covers it.
I'd just like to comment, we appreciate you taking the time to take advantage of the program, and looks like we had 3 Hammond residents, and they're currently going to stay in Hammond, which is a good thing, and then we had some out-of-town residents, especially our Hammond firemen that lived in Demont, so we appreciate you moving back here into the city. That's all I have.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the homebound conditional forgivable loan program for the 6 applicants.
Second? Sorry.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor for our homebound conditional forgivable loan approval. Can we have a roll call, please?
Merrick?
Yes.
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Esbricky?
Yes.
Myricks?
Yes.
Hopper?
Yes, motion passes with 5 yes. Congratulations.
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 You guys may be excused if you like. We appreciate you taking the time to come out, though.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Okay, that brings us to number 7, approval of change order 01 for Miracle Incorporated for the 6600 block of Indianapolis Boulevard which is known as our former Carson's.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Blasky here. So I seldom come asking for a change, but this project was a little bit different than most, is that because of the size of it, about 130,000 square feet, and the renovations over the years, we estimated our time on the job and the amount of asbestos materials and stuff in there that would need to be removed, but there was an exceptionally greater quantity. And so that's what this is for. The 13,500 is for our time for 60 days on site there. The underground storage tank that was identified during the inspection, it needs to be cleaned properly, and we put all that in the bid specs, but also to sample the soil, notify the fire departments, do a closure report and all that. That's what the 9,000 is for. And then a stormwater pollution prevention plan is necessary because it's just over an acre in size. And so that's what these three items cover here.
Well, everybody knows Wally's not a huge fan of change orders, but the, I mean, a relatively small sum, I understand, and certainly something that needs to be done, but, I mean, my mind, and I get it's me, but, I mean, you're virtually 40% off. I mean, that's like, so from the estimate, now went up 40-ish%. Right. And I mean, at some point, the percentages are high and we have to pay for it. And I don't know if I'm asking for an explanation or just what I feel, but that's,
Yeah, I understand, Wally. And I talked with Kevin Smith about this before. Our fees for these kind of things are not to exceed. And I don't ever recall coming to you and asking for a change in probably over 10 years.
I wasn't putting it on you.
No, I understand. I completely understand.
Just my change order rant. So I'm not blaming you, but it's, everyone tells me that's the way it works, but it doesn't make it right in my mind. So I understand it needs to be done. Thank you.
Mr. President, I make a motion for the approval of change order number 1 for Americo Incorporated for 6600 Indianapolis Boulevard, formerly known as Carson's.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval of change order 01 for Americo Incorporated for the 6600 block of the Indianapolis Boulevard, which is the former Carson's. There's no further questions or discussion. And roll call, please.
I'm sorry,
That's fine.
I was going to say, is there not a formula that one puts into things like this that accounts for these type of change orders? A mathematical formula that's put into the total sum of the appraised value of what's going to happen that kind of designates the percentage of change order that's allowable, or is that just?
Well, on the contracting
I
side, sure.
Kasperky is.
Right, on the contracting side, there is. It's regulated by state law and bidding and stuff like that. Of course, there's exceptions to everything, and Mr. Westling could share his knowledge of the law like that. This is the, it's the amount of time that was required in excess, because we were not able to go in the building and do our inspection ahead of time. If we did that, then we would know right away. And I've been in conversation with Africa for months over this, and we just finally got it to this point here where we came in. So yeah, if we were able to gain the knowledge beforehand, then maybe we could do the inspection first and then come back with a proposal for project management later. It's just we've never had an issue up until this one job, and it's been over a decade. That's why it's a unique situation. It's not, I don't like coming and asking for change either.
No, and as I was reading through the information, I was thinking the building must be pretty old, because I know that you also have to excavate the oil.
Storage tanks?
The storage tanks that are there, and those were used a really long time ago.
Yeah, those were installed. There's one there. It's a 6,000-gallon tank that was installed with the original construction in the 50s.
Right. Okay. So, I'm just wondering, just like
Okay.
my colleague is.
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
All right.
Okay. Good questions, and some things are unforeseeable until you really dive in there, and you can't help but it's under the ground, what you can't see sometimes, so. We still have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Tesbricki,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hawkridge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes.
I'll give you, if I could have another minute, I'll tell you I'm hoping the asbestos abatement will be completed by July 19th, and then we could get into the demolition phase. So hopefully by the end of this month or beginning of August, we'll be demolishing the building. So, and I'll keep
Beginning of
Africa.
August, it might be down.
No, well, they'll start demolition. It'll take probably 3 months to knock it down. I think I have to put 4 months in the schedule, 3 or 4 months.
So this year's would be.
By Halloween, it should be done, yeah. Okay, we planned on it being in demolition right now, but the asbestos contractor is from out of state, and he's just really working very slow, and that's all I could say about that, so.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Bosky. Okay, number 8 is an approval of Second Amendment to Purchase Agreement for real property commonly known as 15-49 State Street.
Members of the commission, we just asked to table this for about 30 days because we spoke to the gentleman and there's some additional due diligence that he wants to have regarding this, so he'll have something for you in 30 days.
I so move.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second to table the approval of Second Amendment to Purchase Agreement for real property commonly known as 1549 State Street. We have a roll call on that.
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Tesbricki,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hawkridge.
Yes. Motion to table 5 yes. Okay, number 9 is an approval of revised homebound program guidelines.
Members of the commission, if you look in your packet, you will find a copy of the revised homebound program guidelines. The reason for this revision was because we noticed that the homebound program is a wonderful program. A lot of people participate. The challenge is that we have 2 separate buyers. We have new construction buyers who don't meet all the criteria for first-time home buyers, and then we have people that are purchasing homes for the first time. So a lot of the information that's needed for people that are buying a home is not the same information we need for people that are first-time home buyers, because we use 2 different pots of money. We use pots of money that are that's from federal funds, which is CDBG, and then the mayor also gives us funds as well. What we also notice is that when people are constructing a home, generally that's not their first home. So we don't want to discourage anyone from from constructing homes within the city of Hammond, especially when we have a lot of new subdivisions that are taking place. We just sold some lots on the golf course. We have some new construction taking place in the North Hammond area. So we don't really want to discourage anyone from building new homes within the city. So what we did was look at our program and see, does our program really meet the needs of everyone that would utilize this program? And what we noticed was that not as efficiently as it could. So what we proposed was doing some slight revisions to the application that you will find are in your packet. And some of the main revisions are the income guidelines. Basically, the income guidelines are taken for HUD's purposes because we're using CDBG funds. For the funds that the mayor gives us, we don't need to use HUD guidelines for that, and that's generally for people for new construction. Because what we'll find is that if we use those guidelines for new construction, people will not they won't meet the criteria. They'll be over income, and we don't, as I stated before, we don't want to discourage anyone from new construction within the city. Also, one of the other stipulations was that that person could not have previously owned a home. They have to really be a first-time home buyer, even if they're constructing a new home, which most people, if they're constructing a new home, that's not their first home that they've owned. So what we saw, like I stated, the program is a wonderful program, but as you run through the program and you run through a program or you run a program for a while, you realize that it does not always meet, as it grows more and more people find out about it, it does not meet all the needs for the populations that you would like it to meet. So that's why we did a little tweaking to the current guidelines. So we're just asking for your approval for the revisions as stated.
Were those the revisions primarily? Is that the overview for the construction loan per se?
Yes, that's pretty much an overview.
And these move, sell, or rent provisions, are these the same as they've always been?
Yes.
I like the revisions that you've made. They are
Oh,
accommodating.
no, necessary revisions.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the revised homebound program guidelines.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval of revised homebound program guidelines. Can we have a roll call, please?
Merrick?
Yes.
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Espricky?
Yes.
Frericks?
Yes.
Hopperidge?
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes.
Thank you.
Okay, number 10 is an approval of Union Lounge contract for the sports complex.
Hello. What we found is on the second level of the sportsplex, we have kind of an unused area up there that overlooks the basketball courts. And we thought about something that we could do for it. We went out and we got some sponsorships from the unions. We got $100,000 of sponsorships from them to build a lounge for this area to help generate extra revenue in the facility. So that's kind of where we're at. It also is going to add 2 extra bathrooms, going to allow us to generate another $50,000 to $100,000 in revenue in the sportsplex, and have an area that we can do other meetings and things like that we have in there as well.
We're constructing a new lounge,
Yes.
and that cost, did you mention 100, was that $100,000?
The cost is actually $375,000 for the total build. $100,000 of it is through sponsorships from the unions. We're also going to add the restrooms, if I didn't mention the restrooms up there.
Where's the other 275 coming from?
I'm sorry?
Where's the other 275,000?
That is coming from the TIF.
From where?
The TIF dollars.
Whose name will the liquor license be in?
I believe it's going to be in the Parks and Recreation. We're going to use the same liquor license that we use at the Civic Center.
Mr. Taylor, can you explain a little bit about the lounge? Because I don't want people thinking that it's going to be like a club, like somewhere after hours. So can you explain the lounge and how it'll be very complementary to what's currently taking place in the sportsplex?
Right. This is not going to be a pub by any means. It's not going to be a place that people sit. It's going to be a place where you can go up. We're going to limit the amount of alcohol that's going to be used in there. It's also going to be used as a place for our walkers. We have over 3,000 walkers that have signed waivers to walk in the facility. So in the mornings, we'll be able to have guest speakers, coffee, donuts, things like that. So it'll be a different meeting place too. We have the community room that's booked a lot downstairs, if you've seen that community room. So this is another space that can be rented by people for private parties. So it'll just be an option for people to use that. It will not be open every night. It'll be open when we have bigger events. During the day, it will be available for people to come in and for coffee, donuts, things like that.
Perhaps I should excuse myself. I happen to be a restaurant bar owner, and my problem, I even understand the need for what you're saying, how it could be an asset. I'm wearing my sportsplex shirt, as a matter of fact. I understand the asset, but I have a problem with competing with the city in the area of liquor. I mean, it's the liquor license. I mean, I know the Port Authority has a license. I know Civic Center, now you, I think the baseball field has a license. And it comes a point where, and we're competing with the city. I mean, on my property, and again, I don't want it to be about me, but these things come to mind. I had a tax bill go up 5,000% because I'm a business in Hammond, and 5,000%. But see, you're not going to have to deal with that. Not you, not the city. I get it, but we're competing on different apples and oranges, and that's where I have an issue, and maybe I should excuse myself from this discussion, but if I don't say it, I won't sleep. So
what's being done to address that issue? Who do I ask?
I'm sorry?
what's being done to address that issue? Because that's a valid concern.
Well, I think one of the important things that we're mentioning here is this is not some place that I see a lot of outside people coming into. This is not, the price on the drinks that you're going to have in there are going to be premium prices. So this is a way to capture extra dollars from people that are already coming to the facility. So, and as I mentioned, we're not going to be open all the time. It's really going to be open while we have big events. So it's not.
Right, but that's, again, and I don't want to argue here because it's not, I'm not against you or even, I'm not trying to talk anybody out of this, but I mean, on that same token, that somebody that has that, and believe me, I've had many a beer after a basketball game, I think it's a great idea. But it's going to stop me from going to that somewhere else. Now, why would I sponsor on your wall, which I'm not, and I would have to consider, but why would I sponsor, come to the Cavalier Inn, if they're going to go upstairs and have their beer and their sandwich, you know? And that's kind of my issue. And again, and we should capture as a fiscally, you know, dealing with the city. I get it. In my business, I have a problem with it.
Commissioner, I just wanted to speak a little bit about that because I do understand and I respect your concern about that. But one of the reasons why we wanted to put the sportsplex at the location that we wanted to put it at was we wanted to drive economic development in that area. So the Carson's building currently is slated for demolition with proposed development at that location. One of the things that has been proposed for that area would be like restaurants, or we really want to drive the restaurant or activity or economic activity within that area. Not to take it from any other part in the area, in the city, but we recognize that that's an area that a lot of the food service industries in that area, they're struggling. They are struggling. And so what we tried to do was bring something to the area so that we can bring, you know, you have people come to Cavalier, they come to other areas throughout the city. We don't see that much of an activity within the center of the city. So like I stated, definitely wanted the sportsplex to be a recreational opportunity for children within the city of Hammond and the surrounding areas, but we also wanted to use that to spur economic development, not to go against anything that's currently within the city, but just to have the city thrive throughout all areas of the city.
I understand it's not the intent. I understand the need for it, but effectively it is.
Understand.
So and again, I am 100% for the sportsplex more than most. I think it's a wonderful addition to the city.
Once they got the hot dogs, you were in.
I still never got that hot dog, by the way. But that's another point.
I'd rather see them go there than to Munster between the games and spend the money somewhere else. They might not even come to you.
They probably don't.
Right.
But what about Freddy's Steakhouse, who has a large banner on their wall?
And I get that too.
You know, and again, I'm not saying I want to kill the deal. I'm saying I have reservations. That's what I'm saying. And again, if I don't say it, I can't sleep at night. So
all we're really saying is that they're mindful of it, but I think what Commissioner Kasperky's worry is that, so how is it being addressed?
It's not as respectful.
Or should it be addressed?
It doesn't need to be. It's
healthy.
An individual competing with government in a venue. It's the big picture. It's not whatever the Union Bar and Grill or whatever it is. It's not that one thing, because competition's everywhere. But it's just we'd like to see an equal playing field. And again, I wasn't trying to sway anybody, but I do think it's a valid point.
I don't think our pricing, and this is just my personal opinion as we thought through this, I don't see us attracting local residents coming to the facility for this. I think we're getting the people that are already coming to the facility, and maybe if they have kids and they're going to go eat somewhere, I mean, you're talking about a bar, so we're not talking about kids going there. So I see this as parents that bring their kids for these big events on the weekends, and once they leave our facility, there's no telling where they go. It's up to them as to where they go, so we want to capture those dollars while we have them, and it's more than just a bar. Like I said, we have people that are walking in there. We average 200 people that walk in this facility every day. During the day, we're talking about coffee, donuts. We're having doctors come in to speak to the senior citizens that are coming in there. There are different things that we will be able to do with that to attract people as well. But I don't see this as if you're a local person that goes to a pub, you're going to pay double for a beer at our facility.
I understand that, and I'm not trying to get into your marketing plan. I'm just talking about a guy who has a business, a bar in Hammond, having to compete with government in general, not your bar. I want that place to flourish more than most. I'm so for the Sportsplex. It's just, like I say, competing with government. I'm now in a seat where what's your opinion on competing with government? Well, I'm not telling you, I'm against that concept. That's what I'm saying.
So while it's an interesting kind of esoteric educational argument, right? Wouldn't that hold true with every kind of outside venture other than police, fire, necessary services that a city provides? For instance, a golf course.
Well, there you go.
So, like, take
you volleyed into my court now.
No, but like Wicker Park, for instance, the township trustee, because I don't want to use the one Ham is running right now for the purposes of this discussion, though. Wicker Park, and Frank Mervan runs the golf course there, right? So when that golf course was put in, there were all the there were other golf courses that were publicly owned around, and I guess that your argument could go, the government shouldn't be doing a golf course.
That's absolutely my argument.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's kind of an across-the-board.
But when you mention golf course, we go to the lovely Lost Marsh in Hammond that has an outstanding, beautiful restaurant, which they leased out to individuals who are running that restaurant. Now, that's fair competition. They got a beautiful place from Hammond, but they're paying rent for it. So I mean...
But I'm talking about the operation of the golf course itself, because
the restaurant, talking about the restaurant.
Yeah, because if I'm a private person and I want to do a golf course, right, I'm going to be paying taxes and doing all that stuff, whereas Frank Mervan's not paying taxes, right?
Again, I'm against that too.
Yeah.
That's
I just wanted to say, like, we could draw that line, right, all the way down the line.
Right, but just because people do it doesn't mean it's right.
I understand. That's what I was just pointing out, that our little educational discussion could go on and on, depending on the...
That's what I do.
I got it.
All right. If there's no other
I'm done, thank you.
Okay. If there's no other discussions, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the Union Lounge contract for the Sportsplex.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
We've had plenty of discussion.
The approval of Union Lounge contract for the sports complex. Can we have a roll call, please?
Merrick?
Yes.
Total Presley?
Yes.
Espricky?
Yes.
Myricks?
Yes.
Hawkridge?
Yes, motion passes.
Thank you.
5 yes.
Thank you.
Okay, number 11 is approval of access request for Grand Calumet River Habitat Restoration Project.
Members of the commission, if you look in your package, you will find a request for Grand Calumet River Habitat Habitat Restoration Project. And if you go through it, I believe it's just to planting of different flowers and maybe some landscaping. But because the property is owned by the Redevelopment Commission, they do need your permission to actually have access to the property.
Looks pretty straightforward. No questions here.
Mr. President, I make a motion to accept the approval of the access request for Grand Calumet River Habitat Restoration Project.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's for the approval of access requests for Grand Calumet River Habitat Restoration Project. Can we have a roll call on that, please?
Merrick?
Yes.
Total Presley?
Yes.
Espricky?
Yes.
Myricks?
Yes.
Hawkridge?
Yes, motion passes. 5 yes. Number 12 is an acceptance of proposals for the sale, purchase, or lease of real property located at 5266 Holman Avenue.
No bids were received.
Okay, so we don't need any action at this time. No. Okay, number 13 is our reports. We have Ms. Afikatar with us again tonight. Would you like to share anything?
I'd just like to wish the members of the commission a happy and safe 4th of July.
Likewise.
Thank you. Okay, number 14 is our bills, register of claims.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pay the register of claims for May 14th, 2019 through July 1st, 2019. Register of claims R57, 456 through R57626.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second for a register of claims dating May 14, 2019 through June 26, 2019. That's for tonight's redevelopment commission meeting, July 2nd here. That's claims R57, 456 through claim R57623. Or actually, I have another sheet. It's actually 57626. Is there any questions or addition on these claims? Okay, roll call on the claims.
Merrick,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Espricky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Mockridge.
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes. Okay, that brings us to number 15, new and unfinished business. I think we might have an item tonight.
Yes, members of the commission, in your packet you have, and I have Andrea Lewis at the podium to discuss a roof application that is before you today.
Okay, yes, we received an application for a roof. Our program, our roof loan program only gives up to $10,000 for a roof. We received one bid for this roof in the amount of $20,500, and it was sent out to 4 contractors, but this is the only one that we received. Our applicants know that if any amount that's over $10,000, they need to try to get financing in other ways to cover the rest of the money. So this particular applicant went to People's Bank for help, which I did kind of refer them. We work closely with Alexia's Barbara, and she's here. And so the problem that stands before us is they're going to get $10,000 from us. They applied for the federal home loan grant, $7,500, and the remaining balance, a little about $3,000, will come from People's Bank. They will receive a loan through People's Bank for that amount, for the $3,000. The problem comes as us, with the city of Hammond, we don't go beyond second position on a loan. In this instance, neither does the bank. So we have a problem with their, if they don't receive this loan, they won't be able to get a roof. So I have Ms. Barbara here to come and kind of tell you the process with the federal home grant and then with their loan.
Welcome, Alexis. It's been a while.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. As Ms. Lewis said, we work very closely with the city of Hammond, and me, myself, history, no stranger to working nonprofit, affordable housing, trying to work with homeowners. At People's Bank, we strive to come up with products that the non-traditional methods for financing sometimes does not work. So when the Ortiz family came to us, it was either get the $10,000 from the city and then get a loan for $10,500 from the bank. But because the Federal Home Loan Bank offers grants, we propose that to them. The way the grant works is it's forgiven. The money is on a first come, first served basis. So therefore, if the amount started out with like $6 million, now they're down to $2 million, and each week that money dwindles down. So we need to get an approval as soon as possible if we're going to move forward. That money is forgiven to the homeowner just for residing in their home. They won't have to get a loan. So as far as the 3,000, I have a letter of commitment from our bank that they've already been approved. And I do respect that the city of Hammond does not, typically go into third position, but there's no way around it because of the bank's lending policies. The bank will not be allowed to go into third position as well. So for that small amount, I'm hoping that an exception can be made for the homeowner.
So the exception will put us in the third position?
Yes, but just temporarily, because the $3,000, probably over 24 months, 36 months, it'll be paid off and it'll be released as well.
Is there a first mortgage on the property?
Yes, that presents the big problem, because we've done this for the city of Hammond before, working with one homeowner. It was very successful, but the caveat there is that that homeowner did not have a first mortgage, so that was a smoother process. And we do respect your position, but we really want to help the homeowner, and this is the only way of getting it done.
Well, it sounds without your help and that grant, Mr. Ortiz would be in trouble. So, but if there's no other questions, I move for the approval of the exception for this loan program, for the roof program.
Really appreciate it, and we look forward to continue to working with the city of Hammond and trying to find that non-traditional financing and grants for the residents. I'm a Hammond resident myself, work for the city of Hammond, so we have a great rapport. It's been great working with everyone, Ms. Lewis, Executive Director Tarver, Karen, Cynthia. You can tell it's been a rough day with this NIP grant program, but we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further questions or discussion on this roof program? Okay, roll call, please.
Merrick?
Yes.
Soto Presley?
Yes.
Tesbricky?
Yes.
Myricks?
Yes.
Hopperidge?
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to number 16, public comment. It is now open. If anybody would like to come forward.
Yeah.
Okay, public comment is closed. Number 17.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Can you all signify by aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned.